All right, what's up, everybody? This is Parker
and Trevor.
Welcome to the Service Hub. We're stoked to have you guys with us today. We've got an awesome guest. His name is Clint Collins. Kind of biased. He's an uncle of mine. So stoked to have Clint with us. Clint, where are you coming from?
I am standing in Hawaii right now.
Nice.
Hawaii.
It's early in the morning. Oh, wait, it's not that early anymore. It's early in the morning Hawaii time. Let's go with that.
So what are you up to these days, man?
Let's see. Business-wise, we've bought and sold. We're doing some stuff. I've backing into a different industry right now called Home Watch that would be fun to talk about. I listened to some of you guys' podcasts. I want to know how many of your guests have said they just were like sick of corporate or were unemployable.
Probably all of them.
Almost all of them, yeah, probably.
I so related to that. I was like, yeah, that's why we end up where we're at. You can either call it a disease or a gift. You're just unemployable.
Yeah.
You just don't work. Don't ever hire yourself. You're horrible employees.
It's so true.
It is.
I
backed into this. I've been managing real estate for about 20 years and mostly residential managing, and then we started buying and we got into that. It's a service business that a lot of people don't realize is a service business. But this latest one, we rolled it up, sold it to a company that's going national. And when you look at service companies, like now, when I look at different ones to buy or whatever, I want to see if there's been a national roll up on it yet. Meaning that, say like local internet providers, this happened to them. Where they can't compete with the Verizons and the different ones that come in and just bam. But there's some that rolled them up. We saw it happen. You see this happen in the industry. You know, New York money comes in, rolls all these up, and goes from there. And you end up. I mean, it's the classic Walmart story, right? You got your shoe repair shop, and Walmart comes to town, and shoes are cheaper than they are to fix, and you go out of business.
Yep.
That's happening to a lot of service businesses right now. So when we saw that coming our way, we positioned it to sell it, cleaned up the books, ran it tight and light for like 2 years, and then let that horse race compete for us. And that was pretty fun. So now I'm looking at two things. And I think this relates a lot to the different service industries I hear you guys talking about. Has it already been rolled up, and so the ones surviving are competing with them, or is there a roll-up coming? Because if there is, you can position yourself to make a lot of money if you do it right.
Yeah.
And so property management is being rolled up right now. You could see it coming. You could feel it coming. No one had figured out how to do it nationally like 5 years ago. I mean, there was the franchises, but that's different. They're scattered. They weren't even on the same platform.
Totally.
Right.
And now you have, I can't even keep track of all of them that are more than 20 states now. So if you're a mom and pop running your property management company in, say, Tulsa, Oklahoma, I always pick on Tulsa, dude. I just figure, it sucks, right?
It just rolls off the tongue, man.
Sorry to all you people listening in Tulsa.
Yeah, sorry about Tulsa. I was like, because I'm in Hawaii now, and they're like, why'd you buy that one? I go, well, if it was in Tulsa, I wouldn't have bought it. And someone's like, yeah, I'm in Tulsa. And I was like, damn it, I should have said that. I bet it's beautiful this time of year. Yeah. But the large firms that are running these acquisitions and buying up, you saw it hit the cleaning companies. You see it coming through. The best way I heard it described once was they're only interested right now. They start with the NFL markets. And if you're in a city with an NFL team, you're a first target. Dallas, Phoenix. Then they go baseball and NBA, and then they're like, then minor league. And then so we knew in Salt Lake, we had a good-sized office there, and we had one in eastern Idaho, and we packaged them together because we knew there was no interest in eastern Idaho.
Yeah.
An NFL market. Salt Lake doesn't have an NFL team. They don't have a Major League Baseball team, but they have an NBA team. And it came our way, and we could learn by watching what had happened in Phoenix, LA, Miami, New York. It's a lot of how we do our marketing and everything else. Go see what they're doing in Miami. It's coming your way, or LA. Of course, it's the same for real estate. We have a benefit there in in the Utah, Idaho area. Just see what's going on in California, Arizona, and Vegas, and you got a heads up.
And start doing it.
You might want to sell because they're tanking,
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyways, when they're coming into your business in your way, you can position. So was going to say the two things I'm looking at now are markets where they're not getting to yet that I know inside and out. So I know property management very well, but I know they don't want, what's some good, they don't want those smaller mid-sized markets, right? Yet. So I'm in Hawaii and Guam, managing out there too. So and then you have the industries that haven't been rolled up yet, which is home watch, which is the one I backed into because this company I bought out here has a home watch division. And I'm like, how you have, you're entrepreneurs, so how you have shiny objects?
Yeah, every day.
All the
Constant,
time.
yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm like a cat, and there's like 10 laser pointers in the room. Well, home watch is the brightest laser pointer for me because it hasn't been touched yet. It's just like ripe fields of green. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah. So when you say they, like who are you talking about? Who are these people that are coming in and buying businesses?
It's when it goes beyond like a person. So you got like they would be the venture capitalists or the large investment firms. Mm-hmm. They own a conglomerate of businesses. They own 10. Go look at, I know, dude, I've seen your mountain biking videos and stuff, and it's awesome. Are all of those mountain bike brands each individual companies?
No, they're
how many
typically.
How many people are actually making mountain bikes now?
Oh, it's very few. Like most of them are all bought by a giant VC company or conglomerate. Yeah. So
they got rolled up.
Yeah.
But they keep the separate branding. That's who they is. And if they get in a race with another company, they just want the names, the brands first. And you're sitting there with a brand that's worth anything, cha-ching. You can, because they pay multiples that almost don't make sense sometimes because they're not as much about like, they just have a bigger plan, Totally. Like they want to own that complete, they want to become AT&T. If they own 8 out of 10 popular mountain bike brands, they can do whatever they want. Like I watched one on sunglasses. They're all the sunglasses. This company owns like all you name a sunglass company, they own them all. And then the different companies in the mall, they own those. So you'll have the Sunglasses Hut across the hall from Sunglass Emporium. I don't know. I don't spend money on those, but
man, you're in Hawaii. You need some sunglasses.
I got some Maui gems as a gift. Other than that, it's gas station for me. But they own both of those companies in the mall selling you sunglasses and the eye doctor and everything else. Yeah. They have total control over the marketplace. That's they.
So what's the advantage of selling versus like not selling and holding and
that's a good question, dude. Oh, that is such a good question. Well, if they offer you as much money as you know what you're making in your business, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you know what you're going to make the next 5 years, or you should have an idea of that, right? Mm-hmm. If they offer you as much as you will make for, say, 8 years right now, if they will give you a check, if someone came to either one of you and said, hey, here's 8 years of earnings for you, like how far out do you need to have money to walk away, right? Like if they give you 2 years, if they go, and I'm not talking what the business will make, in your pocket make.
Yeah.
Let's say you're making $80,000 a year running this business and you're working ragged and someone offers you 5 years of that, right? So $400,000.
Totally.
Your stupid entrepreneur shiny object brain goes, oh, I can start something new and I can, and you end up with a company in Hawaii. So one of the advantages to selling is just, one of the biggest ones is companies reach, you have your unique ability, right? Like I get into the creative part of building and developing businesses. But when they get self-sustaining and you have like a management team and you have all these, and there's not much to build, you kind of move yourself through those positions. I lose interest. I know this sounds bad, but like when it's stable, consistent, and reeling off cash, I lose all interest.
Yeah.
So it allows you to do that again. But it's all just, come on, it's numbers. Totally. And then it'd be different if I was doing something I was like really, really passionate about, right? Then no, I probably wouldn't sell. But when you're in like property management, everybody hates their landlord. Like try having, if you see a property management company with 5-star reviews, they're paying someone. Like this psychologist told me early on, he's like, that's because you're dealing with people's daddy issues. I was like, what? Yeah, he goes like cops and anybody in authority, like they just come in pissed off because they have dad issues, and you're going to deal with that. And from that day forward, I watched people that would come in pissed off at us, and I'd be like, "Oh, your dad was a jerk, wasn't he?" It's just not one of those businesses where like, I got my master's in voc rehab, right, which is helping people become self-reliant and people with disabilities become employed. No one ever gave me a 1-star review doing that. Like, no one hated me, right?
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of burnout. You go to college and you have your ideals, but you end up with a business that is a different direction. So, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, that's super funny to think about. Like, like a property management business. I don't know, 4 years ago when I learned what you actually did, Clint, I looked up your business and I was like, man, they have like a 2.8 star review. Like, what the
people
fuck's wrong
hate
with their business? And then I looked at every other property management business and they all had 2.8 star reviews as well. And so I was like, oh, that's the benchmark.
I was on the phone with Yelp the other day and I was like, so I had a real customer give us a real review on Yelp and you guys pulled it off. And then I have a fake one we're suing right now, and you left that one because you're built for restaurants, and our clients are not local, and you value local reviews. So think about it. Yeah. We manage properties for people that don't live here.
Oh, right.
So that's all they're going to check when they come.
Yeah, there's one guy that's got 22 property management offices, and what he did was slowly change their Yelp information through, because it's user, until they didn't exist on Yelp, and he's my hero. It's just a different game where, like, if I like HomeWatch, this is funny. HomeWatch, I'm slicing off into its own website with its own books because of reviews and marketing and that message. So I bought this company. It has 4 things going on. You're managing vacation rentals. You got a real estate brokerage. You're managing long term, and you got HomeWatch. Well, in redesigning their marketing, right? You're trying to have 4 messages going at the same time, 4 different clients. Those are 4 different audiences. Mm-hmm. And it just boiled down to, dude, slice HomeWatch off because people love you. That's more, they're not after ROI. They're not buying these things for an investment. They want you to watch their property for them in Hawaii, okay? It's very residual, very consistent, and they love you. Like, you're their eyes there. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So slice that off. And then the brokerage, we're running in the same thing. Slice that off. So kind of take these 4 and it's going to end up being 3 different companies just for that, the messaging and the reviews. So my favorite thing is HomeWatch companies have 5 stars and should. If I wouldn't hire a HomeWatch company with less than 4.5 because it's a high service, like they really take care of you business.
Yeah.
Now, if I have to feed those into the same reviews from the tenant that trashed their unit and is mad they didn't get their deposit back, I'm not, why do that,
Right. So HomeWatch, for the listeners who aren't as familiar, is it just as it sounds, like some security, or give us a little bit of background on that?
Yeah, this one's cool, man. So it's where like NARPM and property management was like 15 years ago. It hasn't been rolled up. No one has more than like 2 or 3 offices from what I can tell. Uh-huh. So what it is in your second home markets. So Phoenix, it's huge in Florida. So then this is really interesting. So the insurance companies come along and say, you have Florida's a great best example because that's kind of where it was born. You have all the people that come down from the East Coast, hang out in Florida seasonally, and then go back up to the Northeast. And someone has to watch their place. Well, they could just have their neighbor watch it, right? But there's these professional companies that do a full walkthrough and take pictures and monitor everything. And they know, like, they do a moisture reading and they know all this stuff, right? Mm. So what you have is these condo boards or homes where a supply line to a toilet, that weak little piece of wire or plumbing breaks, and that thing runs for 2 months in your house.
Oh, yeah.
So insurance companies catch on and they go, hey, part of your policy, the house has to be checked every 14 days or 30 days or whatever. And then they've tightened it up to where if you say, well, my neighbor checked on it. Okay, we need verification of that. Oh, no verification? We're not covering it. And if it's a condo or apartment unit where they're stacked, the top story, the washing machine supply line pops, and you just flooded the whole building, and the insurance company won't cover it. Mm. So there steps in HomeWatch, right? Turn another nightmare into a... But they've added all these revenue sources on it. So say you guys own a house out here in Hawaii, right? And you come out and you stay, but while you're not there, you just kind of need someone to go through, check it. They send you a report. They let you know what's up. If there is anything, like if you have a house in Hawaii, when you get there, do you want to deal with like, oh, I got to fix this toilet? And I used to have a cabin. When I went there, I worked because it just had all this stuff, right? So you would have them, you walk through it and they go, hey, this window doesn't work anymore or whatever. And you say, great. And they just take care of it. So it's a lot of crossover with property management,
right?
Except for there's no tenants, there's no trust accounting and deposits and all that stuff. You're just taking care of the second homes, the empty homes. If you Google it, the hard part is that it's such a newer industry that there's a senior care company that's called HomeWatch that gets more trend on Google than these guys. But if you Google it in Florida or San Diego, pick those second home markets. San Diego, there's some great companies there. There's great ones in Florida. They're starting to know. Even the organization that like you can join and get your accreditation through is really young and new. Mm. And Hawaii, what it is it's something that all the property management and real estate agents get asked to do. Hey, can you just watch that house for me? Right? And they say, yeah, we do that for like $50 or $100 or whatever, right? And so a bunch of people doing it as a side business. So I just see it as an opportunity where you're going, no, that's what we specialize in. Yeah. And have a company that just does that. And you'll crush because the generalists, in my opinion, the generalists don't make as much and aren't as good as the specialists. Do you want to be a hand surgeon or do you want to look at like be a generalist in the medical field?
Right.
So we're going to specialize in it because those companies crush. And I don't want to like be that company that's like, you guys have seen it. You get their business card and they're like, realtor, massage therapist, life coach. It always says life coach. You got to have that on there, right? And you get like 4 things on their business card. That person usually isn't that great at any of those. I don't hire a realtor that also would do a chiropractic adjustment and sells me some oils.
Yeah.
It's not like you find that pro realtor and you hire him and you're going to be way better off.
Seriously. So Clint, I've got a question for you. You've had experience rolling up a business or selling a business in other terms, right? Mm-hmm. What, like, to our listeners, what would you advise them to do to make their business sellable? So that when the time comes, you get the best offer. It's not just like a 75 cents to the dollar offer. You're getting a multiple. And for those that aren't listening or that don't know what a multiple is, basically it's like you're getting 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, typically EBITDA, right?
Yep.
Net profit.
Yep.
So what would you advise people to do to prep for that?
So I'm in a group. It's a group of other property management real estate business owners. And this was talked about. And there was a book I got to throw out. It's called Simple Numbers, Straight Talk, Big Profits. Most of your entrepreneurs are not accountants. They're not money people. That book is solid. It's by Greg Crabtree. And I just thinking through it, like he specifically covers that. And there's a couple, I'll just give you the bullet points. First of all, account for yourself properly. Like second page of the book, he says, if you're going to Sam's Club and buying all your groceries and happy that it's a business expense, your books are crap. So start running it like it's a real business, first of all, okay? And then start paying yourself whatever it would cost to replace yourself, and then you can class yourself out of that. Because if I come to buy your business, I need to know how much is it going to cost to run that without that person.
Totally.
And if you go in there to buy it and all the clients are still calling that guy and their face – look at realtors, right? Realtors are a great example. They have nothing to sell.
Totally.
Janet Johnson with her high school glamour photo all over the place as a realtor has no retirement if she's just doing that because her clients come, she makes the money, they're gone. There's not much residual except for in her name and face. Try to buy that. They have nothing to sell. It's you know what I mean?
There's no brand. Yeah.
If you, in my opinion, if you build your business that way where it's like, whatever the business is, and you put Parker's name on it and Parker's face on it, and it's all about you, and you're the guy. Now, some people need that and want that. They want to be the guy. That's fine, but you're probably not going to be able to sell that for much.
Totally.
Unless you're in one of these that's getting rolled up and it's hot because they'll just keep you on to play the role of the guy.
Yeah.
That happens. We want you to hang, but how often does that work out, right?
No,
like all of a sudden you're running this business doing whatever you want, and all of a sudden you have a job.
Yeah.
I'll let you in on a secret. It doesn't work. But you make a lot of money.
Seriously.
But I would, there's the get your accounting locked down, and don't be a master of everything, like outsource or go to someone else that is. Identify your unique ability. Take some tests. Strategic coach is huge and awesome for that. Mm-hmm. Identify your unique ability and then work more and more on that and find people there where their unique abilities are your weaknesses. Totally. And go that route. If you're a marketing guy, then don't be doing your books. If you're a bookkeeping guy, then don't do your marketing.
Totally.
Know your strengths and play to them. Don't try to in college. I remember one point I was like, I'm going to get really good at math because I've always sucked at it. So I'm going to try to. That lasted 1 month. It's like, oh wait, I can hire those people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can hire accountants. Okay, cool. Then why learn that? They specialize in it and they love it and they feed off of it. I hate it. So why would I do that?
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I feel like that's something we've heard a lot of with people we've interviewed previously, and yeah, they're all really good at one thing or maybe a couple things, but not much more than just one or two things. It's usually one thing.
And they know it.
Yeah.
You hear Warren Buffett and some of these guys say, I don't remember the exact quote, so I'm butchering it, but he says, the difference between millionaires and billionaires is billionaires say no more. Saying no. It's, dude, just say no to crap. No, I'm not good at that. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
I just got a question today from a company going, how do you feel about managing storage units? And I know this company very well. And I'm like, you can do it. But what I used to always say is, we make hamburgers. That's a hot dog. McDonald's could make hot dogs. They have all the crap to do it, right? Yeah. But if someone orders a hot dog and they're like, you're running your little shop and you're like, yeah, let's make a hot dog. We can figure that out. Great. And you just slowed down the whole operation to make one hot. It's like, no, just get better at doing what you're good at.
Totally. That's powerful. I love that. I me personally, I need to hear that because too often I'm like, ooh, I want to learn how to do this.
Oh, you did. I live in that disease. I'm a cat, and there's 20 laser pointers in the room at all times, dude. You know that, man.
Oh, we need a website. Oh, I'll just go learn how to build a website. No, it's going to take 6 years to build
Where
a
now
website.
That is so cheap. I can go online and find someone to do it for $6. I had my last website done for $600.
Really?
Now, how many hours does Clint need to spend writing copy and and everything else, right?
Yeah.
It's just stupid. Yeah, that's all become commoditized or whatever. It's just become cheap.
Totally.
That would be a good one. I'm horrible at it. Is look at what you're doing and how much that would cost. So I find myself doing something. I'm like, wait, someone do this for $12 an hour. In your head, figure out what you're worth, and don't do stuff that's less than that per hour. That's why I quit mowing my lawn. I know it sounds lame. Some people enjoy mowing their lawn. I got kids that probably should be mowing the damn lawn. And it's a good work thing. But at the same time, it's like when you really become a business owner, when you get out of that employee mentality and out of that, you start looking at it going, yeah, I could go, replace the brakes on my car, right? My brakes are out. They need new pads. It's cheap to do it yourself. Or I could work on developing this new area and opening the new office.
Totally.
Duh, dude.
Yeah.
Duh. You're not. Do you want to? Then don't do that.
Yeah.
Put a value on your time. Oh.
Seriously. No, that's super powerful. So when you got started, Clint, did you guys buy your property management business or did you guys build it from scratch? Tell us a little bit about that. That experience.
Good question. I started. I wanted free rent in college, and there was a little ad, manage this. So it was like first I went at a dog farm. I shouldn't skip that. Did you ever visit the dog farm, dude?
Yeah, I slept in your front room.
There you go. The dog farm was free rent for me and my new wife if we took care of these dogs, that sled dogs. 25 dogs. What? That's a lot of dog poop, man.
That's a lot.
Every day. So, oh my gosh. There's no such thing as free rent. Let's just cut to that, okay?
Yeah.
The next one was a 20-unit complex where the guy just did it himself, but he lived like 2 hours away, and if you lived there and managed it, and so we did that. and it was a 20 unit complex, and you start seeing the numbers and your stupid entrepreneurial brain can't, like real estate, you're like, that makes sense. Yeah. And it was also during the time where they were giving away loans for sign and drive, I called them. So we bought our first units, we started managing them, and we knew we were in over our heads. And we joined all the associations, went to all the meetings, just did a full dive, because if you're going to do it, just be really good at it.
Yeah.
So we got the certifications and all that, and then we started getting asked to manage other people's property. Well, I finished my master's and said, okay, I'm out. I'm going to go do my career now. That lasted like 2 years because real estate just kept taking off, right? And the properties we bought kept taking off. And I still qualified for government cheese, so I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to this real estate thing. And that was kind of it. We just got good at it and then kept getting asked to do it.
And then did you guys didn't you buy a property management business in Idaho Falls?
Yeah, to get into vacation rentals, but the long term took off. We've bought and sold a few portfolios and companies since then. Acquisitions are a mixed bag for service companies. Like my good buddy owns a large lawn mowing company, and we've talked about acquisitions a lot because you can buy this guy that has 80 units on his route. But man, check out this. Someone told me down in Florida, they had a huge company. They said, we never bought any because we always said, what if we put that money into marketing? And I was like, oh my gosh, think about that. Like we paid $300,000 for these doors or a route or whatever in a service company. What if you put $300,000 into your marketing? It's like, oh, are you kidding? We put like $1,000 a month into marketing. That's nothing. It's like their argument was you'll get them anyways. So every acquisition I've done, I've always ran it by what if we put that money into marketing? And I've walked away from a number of them because they were falling apart, or they were bad customers, or they were leaving it because it was a total mess. So I'm buying your mess. We're actually in that market. If I put 1/10 of that into marketing, I'm going to get all your customers anyways. And not just marketing, but fulfillment. You can be the guy with the loudest megaphone, but if you're not taking care of people, they're just coming and going, and that's more expensive. That churn in service companies, that's so expensive.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. I run a mobile bike shop, and let's see, it was last summer. Some small dude in the area came to me and said, "Hey, I'm selling my list of customers." And I was like, "Oh, okay, send me over the information. I'm curious." And he was selling it for like, I don't know, it was like $10K or something like that. Same thought. It was like, wait a second, if I buy these, like, they're going to come to me anyways. Like, I'm like the only other mobile shop in the valley or in the area.
And
like,
he wants out.
Like, hang on a second. And that's exactly what happened. It was like 2 months later, the season was rolling around, and I got all these phone calls. Hey, Spokes Mobile went out of business. We're looking for a mobile shop. And it was like customer after customer after customer.
So did he sell it at all, or did he just quit?
No, he just quit.
Oh, see, because there could be some advantage at that point, like buy his domain and his phone number and forward it. Something. Totally. I know a fencing company. This one was cool. For like 10 years, they put these stickers on a spot in the fence that wasn't annoying, so everybody left the sticker there, and it was just blah 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 fence, American Fence or whatever stupid generic name was on there, with a phone number, and someone bought their phone number from him because it was on like half the fences in that area, and that was it. Like it was such a smooth move. They didn't buy anything else. The company got conglomerated or whatever, is like messed up or something. They might have quit. I don't know, but they said they just bought the phone number off him for like, hey dude, probably for nothing. Like, I give you $2,000 for that phone number. Oh yeah, that's great. Boom. I got a jet ski. You got the phone number. We're all good.
Totally. Yeah. No. Now looking back at it, it's like, I could have probably done something with it, but at the same time, though, I just thought about it as like, these people, they're not like, who else are they going to go to? Right? Yeah. I'm the only other person. But if there were competitors, then heck yeah, I'd be like, well, let's buy.
Now, yes. Then your market share and scalability. Like, the other thing you would want to look at is, okay, say that dude had 100 customers, and you're like, okay, right now I'm the owner operator, and that's a lot of service companies get stuck in at that level, owner operator. How do you make that next jump? A lot of times you make less when you make that jump for a while, and that keeps everybody pinned underneath that mark. Well, if that acquisition will get you to that point, or they have a one employee that you can keep, and it'll move you to that next level. There's some, it's hard to put a dollar amount on that, but there's some things that are worth it like that. In that one book I was talking about, he talks about the black hole from 2 million to 5 million that wipes out a lot of companies, which is really funny because it's very real. You get a company up to 2 million through certain means, but going from 2 to 5 is a different game. And there's some huge play in that. But going back to where like you're starting out, and when we were starting out, I got to mention, we joined all the affiliations, right? But we basically, the simplest way to say it is, I read the E-Myth and then did it. And then I read 4 Hour Workweek and did it. And if you're an entrepreneur and you haven't read the E-Myth, I don't know what you're doing, because you probably have, or you have no systems in your business.
Totally.
And then the 4 Hour Workweek is not at all what it sounds like. Even Tim Ferriss will say, "I was to sell the book. That's not the point. I work more than 4 hours a week." He gets sick of being asked if he only works 4. It's so funny. But like, man, E-Myth was just huge, because it was like, here's how you systemize stuff, and you don't need to hire MBAs. And it really moved us forward quite a bit in that, going from owner operator to being an investor in your business. It was pretty huge.
Totally. Man, I kind of want to dive in on that a little bit. So, because I feel like I would venture to say, I feel like there's more businesses out there that are owner operator than there are like a good business, right?
What about the really good owner operators, though? I mean, what about the ones who should stay owner operators?
True. I mean, it is basically what I'm getting at is like, my question would be, those that are owner operator that want to go to that next level, you're advising to either acquire another business that helps them get to that next level, or what are some other ways about going, or how to do that? Yeah.
Scaling it. So, man, that's where most people get. There's a black hole there. I mean, it's, to use a skiing analogy, dude. Let's say you got someone, they've gone through the lessons and they can do the green circle and the blue square, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, but I want to do double black diamond. They're standing on the edge of the double black diamond run. It's all fresh powder. And they're like, oh, yeah, I can do this. That's a lot of times the entrepreneur that's got an owner operated business that he knows like how to run his business.
Yeah.
But he's standing there looking at this ski run going, oh, I think I can do this. Dude, get a guide. Watch the people that have been there before. Don't just jump into that. You know what I mean? Like, nowadays, with information as free and available as it is, dude, you don't have to do this stuff on your own. You don't have to guess how to jump into that thing. Mm-hmm. And if you do go down, you're going to ruin it for a lot of other people, break your neck. It's not good, speaking from experience.
I think one hurdle that some owner operators come into is letting go of control. Because you build a business, it's like your child. You're like, oh man, I don't want to let go. But I remember one of my mentors, Todd Morgan, he started a paving company out here in Utah, and Morgan Pavement, and it's grown tremendously. And he says, dude, the hardest thing for me was taking a step back and letting somebody do it differently, even though the quality was the same. Like they produced the same result, but like the pride factor of saying, all right, well, this guy's going to do it different than me. We're still going to satisfy customers, but it's just like painful to watch. Did you experience any of that as you've grown your businesses?
Dude, huge. That's huge. Like, you cannot overstate that. Because especially if you start, I was the receptionist, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I created the checklist for doing that job. And then I was the, property manager. And then I was the business developer, and I moved through each of those positions. And so then when these new ones where you buy one that's already up and running and they're rolling, dude, I had to get myself for me to do that, I had to physically leave the office. And it's a little strategic coach principle called the no office solution. But basically I had to physically, so everyone swore by it. Like, you hit a point in your business where you're better off not there. That sounds crazy, but the people that have done it swear by it. And basically, to test it out, I've done a few things. And the best one I've seen done is where you go and book a long vacation. I'm talking 3-4 weeks. One where longer than your normal week, where everybody just waits for you to get back, right? And what happens when you go on this 4-week vacation? So book it next summer, right? You'll get everything in place to be gone. then you'll be gone, and watch how long it takes you to get caught up when you're back. It's kind of scary how many entrepreneurs get back, and by Tuesday, Monday's slammed maybe, and Tuesday at noon, they're like, oh my gosh. And what it shows you is who on your team picked up the weight, what you're needed for and not needed for. What did they reach out to you for and not? What are the things you had to take care of while you were sitting in Australia, right? What are the things, and you just, man, it just condenses it down to, okay, we can improve communications this way. I'm more efficient this way, yada, yada, yada. So what happens is you start to realize right before you're going to go on vacation, this is not mine. This is from some book. I can't remember which one, but you do all this stuff. You're way effective that day before you leave, right? What if all your work days were like that? So like I have a 3-day work week, and there's like a focus day and 2 buffer days. And the other ones are free days. Don't bug me, right? Because you can get all your work days to be like that. But going back to how I did that, I rented a closet from the building we were in, and I moved my desk and office there. I'm not joking, dude. And I had to go out the front door of our office and down and in a different area, right? And what I did was I paid attention to when I had to physically go back over to my office. Because what happened was I didn't have a good talent funnel going. You try to, we can talk about building teams and everything, but you hire a good person. But if you're sitting there as the business owner, you're in the way. And and if you're hiring driven people that want to accomplish things, they kind of see it as the small business. They're like, I can't go anywhere above, Clint. He's just kind of this clogged. But you get out of the way, and they see your business moving forward and growing, and like you go on that vacation, or I did both, but then you move over to the little office next door, and you kind of let them lead and move up. You accelerate everything. And think about it. I mean, crap happens, like you might get cancer tomorrow. Might get in a car accident. What's going to happen to your business? What better way to test it out than to just go on vacation for 3 weeks? I dare people to do this. Now, you can't be like, you can't be the only bit, like it's just you. Like, hey, I did that, Clint. It sucked. I didn't make any money. I lost clients. Yeah, obviously. But when you get into the early stage of team building, this was huge. And then that closet turned into a space across town. And then that turned into not even having a space. My team and my business was way more efficient at that point, because when I come in, I'm just there working and I leave. And that was huge. I mean, you can look it up. It's Dan Sullivan's No Office Solution, and he explains it. But it moves entrepreneurs, businesses. It'll break that barrier for you. It breaks that barrier of, how do I let go? I had to physically do it. Because being in the office and saying, all right, I'm going to let Janet do this from now on. Then you're standing there and you're like, oh, Janet, you're doing this all wrong. Good as that. We always say the line from Surf's Up. It's that cartoon where the dude, Shia LaBeouf or whatever, the penguin is sitting there he's trying to carve the surfboard, and the dude is standing behind him, and he's just like staying way quiet. And as soon as he starts carving, he goes, you're doing it wrong. And that's how you feel, because you've done it for so long. But I had to physically just get out of there. Yeah. Long answer, but that was such a good question, man. Like, seriously, It's such a big deal.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Clint, we're coming up on our time here. We appreciate you hopping on the call with us. How can people learn more about you and what you're doing, or do you even want people to learn about you?
I don't really want to. And you know why? Because I'm not one of those that's like all over I'm not building a brand of me. I don't build me.
No, I think that's why it's been so valuable.
LinkedIn, I don't really check it, but I am on there.
Cool.
We did start a private group. Honestly, just whatever. I do consulting for the property management people. It's in my little bubble of expertise. Reach out to me, and it's, you can get me through LinkedIn. But honestly, I'm not building a me brand. That's not my thing. Totally. People are driven by different. it's not me. Yeah. I'm not trying to start anything like that.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with it, honestly. I think too often we find ourselves identifying those types of people, but we learn more from people like you, where they're just like in the grind, they're in the trenches, they're doing this, they build a business, they sell it, and then they go to the next one. I have a good friend named Jordan, who runs a very successful industry-specific podcast, and that's his gig. You end up interviewing people who are selling something because they want to. It's the same reason
who's on Jimmy Fallon every night. They got a new movie, so they got to go sit with Jimmy Fallon and talk about their movie. Or you got someone who's selling a book, or they've started coaching and consulting, and that's who we all end up listening to.
Yeah.
You're dead on right, man. But if you can get into these groups, like, I'm not really selling anything. I just really like talking business.
Yeah.
So anytime, dude, like, I love talking to, it's our disease. Like, it's genetic. Like, we literally are unemployable. I cannot, don't even try to hire me. It is the worst. I am horrible. It's fun. Awesome. I listen to your guys' show. I think it's awesome what you guys are doing. It's cool. You got a cool niche, because there's a lot of service companies out there that are climbing all the same hills with just different gear. Well,
it's a $400 billion industry.
Huge.
Like, it's huge.
And it's the last stand. If everything else is you can't replace the guy that'll physically come and do something in your place.
No, totally. Yeah.
Service industries. I mean, that's why plumbers and electricians are making more than attorneys right now.
Well, yeah, and the demand is huge because kids aren't going to school to be plumbers, and then all of a sudden everyone's going, "Oh man, who's going to fix my pipes?"
Yeah.
What I want to hear from you guys someday. I know we're up against the time thing, but I'm waiting, and I see a few of them. Like, I can't remember the name of them, but basically, like what's happened to the cleaning company with Google investing into it, where they're getting rid of the service company owner because it's like Uber, but for services. So the cleaning women themselves put themselves on a website. You hire the cleaning woman. You got rid of the company owner, and your Uber got rid of the taxi company owner.
Yep.
Property management's about to get unlocked, in that all I really need is I need to put on an app, go follow this, and I need to know that guy's 5 stars, or him or her. And I can get local tasks done, Uber style. Like, go walk around this property, FaceTime with me. Great. Now I can manage properties across the country. There's a few working on it, but that's the threat I see coming to service companies, business owners, because it's happened to cleaning. It's happened to a few others. It's not gone full bore yet. But when you get the ability for the laborers to direct connect with the customer, and a company like Google or all these different apps, like Uber's the best example, can facilitate that communication and rate the you're getting replaced, but the consumer wins.
Totally.
Uber doesn't. Wow. But side note, Uber doesn't make any money.
Yeah.
But talk to New York City cab drivers that worked 20 years to get that medallion, and then all of a sudden it was worthless the next day.
Seriously.
Right.
That's coming to all of us. So that's something I'm watching for.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, how do you prepare yourself for that, right? Like, that's something I've thought of. In fact, it's happening in the bike industry. There's a company called VeloTooler. It's basically the Uber it's a marketplace.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just a marketplace. Anybody can become a bike mechanic and start servicing their bikes for their friends and their family.
Yeah.
And there's just this platform where you can
get rated on there.
Yeah.
Who the business owner is the one getting wiped out there. They're going to facilitate those. You can't compete with their marketing. Mm-hmm. You can't compete. I mean, look at real estate. You had mom and pop brokerages, title companies, mortgage companies. You had, like, 10 years ago in each town, you had like 200 different stupid brokerages, right?
Totally.
And when the market changed, they all condensed, and you had like 4, right? Major players. And I can name, local internet providers. You can go through each and every one of these and go, okay, who got wiped out? The business owners. So it's coming. You can either compete, I don't know, man, or get into a market where they're not there yet. A lot of those services aren't there. If you're in Salt Lake or Phoenix, they're on their target right off the bat. And watch the hotel industries fight with Airbnb. It's just fun to watch.
Yeah.
So true.
Well, and I think that's why it's so important that you think about what we've been talking about, getting poised to sell, so that when that time comes, like, you're the guy who's ready to say, all right, sweet. You want to buy me?
Yeah. The company, hopefully they want to do that. But these companies, like what Parker's looking at, and I'm seeing, they're not buying you out.
That's true.
They're just eliminating the need for you. They're taking that margin, really. The cleaning woman is the best example, because she gets paid $10 an hour by the company. The business owner charges $35 an hour on her labor, right? Mm-hmm. Google steps in, or whoever they invested in one. I'm spacing the name. They invested in a company, and there's multiple out there trying to do it. Now this cleaning woman can sign up for that company and make $15 an hour, and she maintains a 4 to 5 star review rating. Everybody pays through the app. The service is better.
And they pay less.
The convenience is better. Who's losing? The company owner.
Yeah.
Google's grabbing that margin because Google's going to do it for $18 an hour. So holy crap, I can get it done for less and high quality, and this woman makes more. They're taking the margin.
It's true.
And you want to compete with them? Have fun. That's going to be a good 3 years. Good luck with your shoe repair shop. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Amazon's doing it too.
Yep.
Like we're finding. So I just saw this the other day. They got Amazon services.
Yep.
You buy something, a TV. Oh, you want it installed?
Dude, they all want in.
Done.
Home. It's the home service. Home, like getting into the home. They want your home data. Google invested in a cleaning company just to get the information on the inside of your home.
Yeah.
Because you have to fill out this thing, how big it is and everything. If they just want the info and they're grabbing $1 spread, the business owner needs a $15 spread. You know what I mean? Like the margin. So look at Amazon. They're fighting it. If you look into this for the service, that's a horse race going on right now. They want to do this. They want you to buy the TV online, have it installed, and everything else right through your Amazon app. And I watch my wife use Amazon, and no one else stands a chance. If Amazon will do it, she's done.
Right.
Look at the insurance industry. I don't want to go sit with an insurance agent anymore. Are you kidding me? I can't believe they still exist. I thought realtors would be gone though a few years ago, and I'm in that industry, but I was like, I don't want to meet with a realtor anymore.
Totally.
But look at them, dude. Freaking Zillow is buying houses in Arizona to just cut out the realtor. They're taking the mark. They want the transactional. They want that transaction.
Well, dude, there's like here in Salt Lake, there's a company called Homey.
There you go.
They're doing
the same thing.
Like, look at Tasker. Or there's one that mows lawns. The guy told me they look online and use Google Earth. They measure your lawn and give you a bid.
What?
It's the same as the cleaning company. So then Janet, say she mows lawns for a company. She puts herself on this lawn mowing company, and that app just connects her, pays her, and everything else. Me, the customer, I pay through the app. I give it a review each time. Yeah, my lawn looks good. 4 stars. Keep going. The guy that owns the lawn mowing company's done.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we challenge our listeners to give us some feedback. How can we combat this? Because right now, I don't have a good solution.
I wouldn't fight it. I know that. Whatever you fight, you give power to. But
right.
The reason I brought it up is because you guys are in the space. If you can come across someone that's in that, like building those apps or doing those types of things that are getting into that arena of the service game, I would love to hear that. And I mean, we could talk for another hour. I've done a deep dive on that one, and I'd love to hear more about it because that's the battle I see coming for the service. It's probably out there a ways because at the end of the day, the customer still likes, well, Janet's been cleaning my home for 5 years and she's really great. I really like her. But when Janet leaves, what are they going to do? They're going to search for it on their phone.
Totally.
And if Janet will be there with her 5 stars,
dude. And if if it comes up on Amazon and my wife can choose home cleaning and pay through the app, we're all done.
Seriously.
Right.
I'm not making that decision. Yeah. I know. Pool cleaning. I mean, you just go through and you start figuring out, how can I do this without being there? Oh, crap. Yeah. So on that positive note.
Well, you know what? Not all movies end well. That's all good.
No, it's good. Well, there's winners in that. The people doing the work win.
Yeah.
Like Parker, your example, I will throw this out. You might make more hopping into that. You could be the first guy on there, get highly rated, and you could just crank it. But you'll be repairing bikes the whole time.
Totally.
But it gets rid of your overhead, your marketing. You don't have to do your accounting anymore. You don't have to, they're gonna, all that's off your plate, and you're just fixing bikes.
Right.
But there's some that might not be right for you. But there are plenty of guys running their own business, service business out there that will actually benefit from that.
They're already a one-man shop.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't personally think it's going to completely push away the entire home service business industry because it is the largest industry out there. I feel like $400 billion industry. It's huge.
Right.
That's a massive disruption. So for listeners that are freaked out of their minds right now from this conversation, don't give up today.
So,
keep going.
You know what? I'll give you. I can make it way pot. So check it out. This in our industry that I know a lot about. Australia is ahead of us on this. And here's what happened. That you were either the peach or the lemon. This guy gave a whole thing on it with all the data behind it. It was really good. Those guys who are high service and I'm not going to say high cost, but basically the premier providers that provide the great experience and take really good care of the customers do great. And I should say limit, but the ones who are way cheap and can compete on price, they do okay. Everybody in between, the one trying to run the high service as cheap as possible, no, those guys get eaten alive. And he gave the example of you go to a tourist area that got famous for croissants, and there's 4 croissant places on each corner. And this guy had way nice croissants, and he sold them for $3 a piece, and business was booming. The cruise ship would come in and he'd sell them. Well, other guys are like, wow, I can sell croissants for $1, and I just shipped them in from Ohio. So now he's selling them for $1. The tourist shows up. They just want to get a croissant, take a selfie in front of it, right? That's what's happening. And so in Australia, the middle ground, if you're a middle-of-the-road service company in our industry and you were trying to have like high price and not great service, or great service for cheap, you're done. That's not going to work. But if you can do it better and you can charge more, people will pay more for that. Or if you think you can compete on price. But the middle area, they are getting eaten alive in our industry.
Right.
So there you go. Just be better at what you're doing.
That's
if you're the
powerful.
best, you'll keep getting business.
Yeah.
True.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Clint. Listeners, give us a review if you've liked this. We've been enjoying it, and we hope you've enjoyed it. So go to iTunes, rate us, give us a review, tell us what you guys want to hear more of, and hope to get some more people like Clint on this show.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Clint,
guys.
so much.
Loving it. You guys are killing it.